right, let me take it away. Thank you very much, beautiful people of Hamburg and the wider ecosystem for having me. My keynote is on innovation ecosystems and especially cross-industry collaboration which fuels innovation. In this short session, I'm going to expect that you are a critical audience. I'm going to try to amaze you a little bit, and you'll be glad this 15 minutes is over and you're back to tie-in. I'm going to give you a little bit of a roadmap, some links, and we're going to talk about cows. All right, let's dive in. Let's see how old the audience is. Who of you knows Pac-Man? If you know Pac-Man, please put it into the chat. So, what is Pac-Man? It's a little game. If you Google that, you will actually be able to play the game right in Google. It's about this little happy face. If we look at this as an ecosystem, you could see the blinking cursors as maybe capital access to market, and the ghosts, which have now turned blue, are beautiful little friends here, Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde, as the different approaches you can take into an ecosystem. Because all these little ghosts have different strategies. And that's also what we need to focus on if we talk about innovation ecosystem. What is your strategy? Because we see many different cities, different regions taking different strategies, and some are more successful than others. So Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde are beautiful little ghosts, and they have a different way of looking at the world. So let's run through for a moment. What is Blinky doing? Blinky is following Pac-Man. He looks for opportunities in a dominant system. So Pac-Man is the dominant player. The system is clearly dominated. So what do? You look for opportunities, active. Pinky, totally to the right, he tries to get in front of Pac-Man. That really, not just look for opportunity, but really tries to go for the frontal attack. If we then look at Inky, he patrols an area. He's waiting, or she's waiting, analyzing, not really doing anything. And Clyde is actually moving in a random fashion, and this you could see as too many partial strategies. Well, the thing you wish to prevent, of course, is frightened mode. This is frightened mode. How to get out of that is pretty simple. You need to work together. You need to do it both in a wider ecosystem. Tyen already introduced me, so that's pretty clear. My name is Ramon Vullings, and indeed I'm a cross-industry expert and IDR DJ. I write books on cross-industry innovation and on how leaders should mix and match. And it's great to be here in Hamburg, weil mein Buch auch auf Deutsch aufgegeben ist, so die Kunst quer zu denken. And this is as far, I guess, as my German goes. Let me give you a short example of cross-industry innovation in action. This is a project we did for a large energy company. With a team of 8 people, we did a cross-industry research on how to ignite more effect with a reduced workforce. They are running multiple gas-fired power plants all over Europe, and they wanted to become smarter at that. So the key question was how to be with a small, technical, highly skilled crew operating a complex facility. And then we did a cross-industry search. So which other areas do you go to find a similar situation for operating, in this case, a power plant with minimal staff? And then we looked, of course, at space. Here we go. We can learn a lot from the International Space Station. Also polar expeditions, you can learn a lot from there. And finally, we also went to submarines. So learn from submarine crews. And if you look at that, they have a different approach on how to do their maintenance and operation. And finally, we managed to get a spreadsheet in from actually the Dutch Marines. And now more than 27 gas-fired power plants all over Europe are running on an adaptive spreadsheet from the Marines. Now, the project manager was really happy with that. And that's just a little case of cross-industry innovation in practice. If we then pull that wider to ecosystems, we need to look at what is actually the best and first ecosystem. And everybody knows that the best and only ecosystem we have is, of course, nature. Nature is ultimately where real engineers will always say, whatever our process is, whatever we can design is cool, but nature beats us to it. Japanese researchers actually painted a cow with zebra stripes. Why? Well, they figured out that zebras get bitten less by flies. So finally they figured out, what if we would paint a cow in zebra stripes? And indeed this resulted in 50% less bites. And also finally less pesticides needed. So you see already how influences from nature can also come into play in different areas. Now, there is a beautiful book called Biomimicry, Learning from Nature, based on the 9 principles of biomimicry. Nature runs on sunlight, nature uses only the energy it needs, nature fits form to function. And if we apply these lessons to ecosystems, nature runs on sunlight, which free resources can we use? Nature uses only the energy it needs, with viral ID spreading, efficient use of budget. Nature recycles, data gets entered only one time. These are different things on different levels that we can learn from other areas, in this case specifically nature. Now, my latest theme is talking about how great leaders mix and match, and what we're trying to do here with ecosystems, and I guess also what many areas are trying to do also here in Hamburg, is figuring out how we can best partner up. Because what is a main strategic reason to partner up, that's pretty clear. It's very simple. 99% of the most brilliant people on earth are not part of your team. That's why we need to figure out new ways of working together. So figure out how to get more great people part of your team. Hence, start an ecosystem or become part of it. And if we look at ecosystem synonyms, if we do a little search over the whole of Europe, they're called smart cities, innovation districts, whatever valleys, whatever ports. We even have drone ports, clusters, platform alliances, science park, startups, hubs, park, quarters, you name them, and they keep on growing. And they're mostly powered by the triple helix. There is a government access to it, there's an industry business access, and there's a university access to all these things. And I did some research, and just in the Netherlands, officially we have 53 innovation ecosystems. In Belgium, we already have 27. So if you look across Europe, it's crazy in terms of how these things are growing. It's key there to take the right approach and the right strategy to know what you stand for. There is a driver, I guess, also from a city or urban development, and it actually started real full flash when Richard Florida came out with his book, The Rise of the Creative Class. This was already in 2003, and since then we've seen all kinds of things: authenticity, green cities, smart cities, you know it, even slow cities, happy cities. So it's clear that a lot of municipalities, a lot of environments are becoming more and more aware on where they want to position themselves. Let's take a little tour over Europe. 22 at Barcelona. That's an urban redevelopment project which has a major focus on becoming more sustainable in energy, medtech, ICT, media and design. For myself, I'm Dutch, but living in Antwerp now in Belgium. The smartest square kilometer of Europe, that's what they say, from Eindhoven. So the Brainport Eindhoven positions themselves like that. And if you go to Paris, there is Station F with the largest startup campus. Now, there are different ways that you can actually navigate through, and there's a beautiful website called clustercollaboration.eu, and there you can find partners per country, per region, per sector. And that's interesting because as you are building up an ecosystem or playing a role in an ecosystem, you need to figure out which direction to go. And there, your curiosity is your superpower, will help you, because ideas do not need to be new. They just need to be new to you or to your target audience. And I cannot re-emphasize this enough. Many people are trying to figure out ideas from scratch. No, look around, take examples from somewhere else, and then define your strategy. And also with our little goals from Pac-Man, figure out, are we really going to lead in this area, or are we becoming smart followers and then figuring out specifically on which area we wish to lead? So that's a key item there. Now, I want people to work smarter, not harder. And with ideas, they are way more combinations and discoveries. So not so much inventions. So it's more a discovery, like with the curiosity, you need to look outside and then combine it with your own strength. So also for Hamburg, that's interesting to see how you can play with that. And I call these people who can do that really well idea DJs. What is an idea DJ? Is someone who creates impactful and beautiful combinations which add value. And a perfect mix for me really consists of beauty, and that means also elegance in a solution. So from operational excellence also to operational elegance. Why? Because media and design are key drivers also for successful ecosystems. You derive value not just to all shareholders, but a wider stakeholder system, and impact. Ideas and solutions need to be sustainable. And if you then put that a little bit higher or lower on the abstraction ladder, you can see that you can smartly position yourself on primary processes, products and services, or secondary, more process and flows or business model, but also on partnerships, on leadership, technology, you name it. Now, ecosystems in many cases answer to wicked problems because it's a complex ecosystem. And you can also address complex problems like the Sustainable Development Goals. For ecosystems specifically, I would say that the sustainable cities, good health and well-being, the industry, innovation, infrastructure, and also the actual partnerships themselves are key drivers to focus on. Because many regions focus on a specific technology or a specific service, I would say that the Sustainable Development Goals are a good area to focus on too. Now, to do that, you need to let go of your ego a little bit, because we nicely build our own little systems, our own, like the old city walls from before. I think it's crucial to look at ecosystems as part of wider virtual ecosystems. So let go of your ego. So we need to be successful in that and go from ego to Lego. So really jump over and break down these walls, mix them around a little bit and go somewhere else. And then if you go from ego to Lego, you concretely build these things together. Now, to do that, you need to check your gear, and you need tools to do that. And I have a little exercise with you. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and I'd like you to type in the wrong answer immediately. Sorry, 3 questions. I want you to type in the answer in the chat immediately, and all I ask from you is a wrong answer. First question, wrong answer to the capital of Belgium. What is a wrong answer to the capital of Belgium? Please type them in or note it down for yourself. Wrong answer, not a correct answer, wrong answer. All right, second question, a wrong answer to the number of 3D printing startups in Europe. Wrong answer, please. And lastly, what is the color of Ramon's mother's car? Wrong answer, please. Now, we see all kinds of beautiful answers coming in, of course. Let me recall this for a moment. The capital of Belgium, if you accidentally filled in Brussels, unfortunately that's correct. So I guess Hamburg and Eindhoven and Antwerp, that's Zurich, great. Number of 3D printing startups in Europe, if you accidentally filled in 25,251, you're accidentally right, but that's not where we want to be. So, as most of you, you entered 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a million, all fine, all wrong. The last question is the trickiest, because the first question, you know the correct answer, so your mind jumps to a wrong answer. The second one, you say, I'm not a 3D printing expert, so what do I do there? And the last question, you think, hey, I don't have enough information. So you take a color, maybe pink or something. But the only way to survive the last question is to actually jump out and not mention a color. So Brussels, Hamburg, or something else, or 25,000 would all have been perfectly wrong on the last question. Now, to wrap up, you need tools to navigate your way out and navigate also your way out of sticking into the colors. I will send you a set of tools after this via the organization as well. There's also an ecosystem canvas, innovation ecosystem canvas by Sarkar and Kotler, and that will allow you to navigate your way through. My last point I want to bring to you today is find the X factor for your ecosystem. A lot of ecosystems go for marketing, but you need to actually go for magneting. And where is the magneting? That might be in your role models. Paris has Anne Hidalgo, the mayor of Paris, and they are very smart with Station F, but also infrastructure, really getting cars out of the city, these kind of things. Maybe ASML is a good example in Eindhoven, high tech. Frank Thelen might be a nice example in Germany in terms of his push, or Fraunhofer Institute, but also Hamburg itself. There are so many things that you can see. Where can we figure out a role model, a person, a company, a setting? And finally, we can only connect the dots that we collect. I tried to give you as many dots to connect today in this short session. So to wrap up my 4 insights for you today. Great leaders mix and match. So match your approach with your strategy for collaboration and figure out, is it more urban revival? Is it more major investments like Station F or Boost or themes? Work smarter, not harder. So ensure connections between ecosystems for more sustainable collaborations. Think ego to Lego. Grab your gear, take your tools, these will be sent to you via the organization, and figure out your X factor, who might be your role models. And with this, I'd like to thank you for your time, and back over time.